This left side credenza would have a normal vertical face frame on the left side, and the crown molding would need to bed into it. So absolute minimum, it should be 2 inches. The credenza has no cutouts on the back, but I will have to cut out the base trim, which is obvious. Remove the carpet, and then I'm going to lose some elevation when I remove the carpet, but I'm going to leave my templates with those dimensions so I can fur up and add a toe kick. This will have to pull through the box, which is close, but I can move it to the right just a little bit so it's not outside of the face, so it's inside of the face frame. This top is templated to fit, except the 1 inch that needs to be added on this side. So right where it's marked here is right where the notch should be. So it's a 68 there, and it's 69 from that line going forward, the pencil line going forward. Here, the bookcase unit where it's straight ends at the top of that 1x. The angle starts at the corner of that 1x, and then it stops at that vertical line there. So that gives me the dimension for that triangular area that goes on top. And then from there over to there would be the box. And when I say there, I mean that right limit on the piece that's hanging over, because I didn't want to pull their molding. They're going to have to make a decision on the 5.1 system. If the system were to stay in place, that's the placement. I would drill through the back of the bookcase and pull those wires, and then the mounting back of it would cover the hole that you drill through. So that's not an issue if they do decide to do that. Now, as far as the mantle box and the masonry and getting an outlet in, I know with a 12-inch deep upper unit that I'm going to come out to about where that pencil line, that top pencil line is right there. Okay, so if that's the case, I really can only have a 5-inch mantle. Technically, it should be less because I'm going to also have a 1/2-inch face on this. So it really should at a maximum be 4.5 inches. On the other side, since the way the mantle is mounted and the masonry is off a little bit, if I do the same thing over here, this tells me a 5-inch mantle would work, so I should definitely go to the 4.5. Now coming out here from 12, it actually shows that I have a little more room to work with. So when I do the mounting of the framing members, which is just going to be the 2x bolted to the brick, I have to make sure that it's square off the wall. Otherwise that mantle box would need to be cut on a taper. So when I do the framing, it's going to be a little painstaking, but will be worth the effort. On this side, I had a hard time working around the alarm system, but I used the Pythagorean theorem to determine that top right. So leg C was taken off of the placement of the laser, and that's really good. I actually checked the lateral fit, and at 64 3/8, we should just be fine there. Now coming over here, the components feed is going to come through the back of the credenza. We're going to channel it up to come out through the bookcase, and then hidden in the framing, and then eventually coming out through the back of the framing and the back of the 1/2-inch maple that's going to be just a straight drop. So what I need to add is I need to add a border trim, and I've got to square everything up on the edges to finish trim the back. So I'm going to add some trim into this that I didn't have originally, but what we'll do is we'll dress up the back of the display as a nice square, and then we'll just leave the mantle as a flat box unless they want to add trim. I would just make it a straight box. Like I would, if it's going to be 4.5 deep, I would just make it 4.5 by 4.5. So it'll be on just a nice square, but you're really limited on what you could do by crowning it because we've only got that 4.5 to work with, unless we made the uppers like 14 inches deep or something like that. So that would make it so that we could bed that mantle box a little deeper than it's designed to with the 12-inch uppers. That's really the only thing I can think of. I just have to make sure that I notch my tops so I don't have to cut them on site, and plan to bed the chair rail into them. And these angled sections just need to be separate and fit in. So what you see here is what you'll get on the uppers. You will have a cubby section that follows the line of the ceiling. So bigger open cubbies on the right than on the left. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. The credenza doors will be centered in the space, not centered on that line. And that should be it.